The first warning came from an old satellite. Its ancient sensors, forgotten by most and maintained by a single technician in a small ground station, picked up something strange at the edge of the solar system. Jae-hyun Kim, a captain in the Earth Defense Force, studied the blinking screen with tired eyes. The data was weird. Massive energy signatures that didn't match anything in the current database. Patterns of movement that seemed to defy normal space travel rules. He rubbed his eyes, thinking it might be another system glitch. But deep down, he knew something was coming. 3 days later, the first alien ships arrived. They weren't like anything humans had imagined. These weren't the sleek, silver ships from old science fiction movies. These were monsters of technology. Massive structures that looked more like living machines than simple spacecraft. Each ship was the size of a small city, with surfaces that shifted and changed like liquid metal. The global defense network went into immediate alert. Massive screens in military command centers around the world lit up with warning signals. Tracking systems tried to calculate potential entry points and defensive strategies, but everyone watching knew the truth. Earth was completely unprepared. Captain Kim watched as the first wave of alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere. They moved with impossible grace, cutting through the sky like knife through water. No sonic booms, no resistance, just silent, deadly precision. "This is not a fair fight," muttered Colonel Park, standing next to Kim in the main command center. The room was filled with the soft sound of computer systems and the rapid typing of worried technicians. The alien fleet represented technology centuries beyond human understanding. Their weapons could destroy entire continents with a single pulse. Their shields could absorb nuclear explosions like raindrops. And they were here with one purpose: complete planetary conquest. What made the situation worse was Earth's current state. Decades of peace had made humanity complacent. Military budgets had been cut. Advanced weapon systems had been dismantled. The most modern defense systems were nothing more than museum pieces, stored away and forgotten. Kim looked around the command center. Young technicians, most who had never seen real combat, were trying to make sense of the impossible situation. Military computers were already showing massive system failures. The alien technology was destroying communication networks, defense grids, and satellite systems faster than humans could respond. "Sir," a young technician called out, her voice shaking, "we've lost contact with the orbital defense platforms." Colonel Park gripped the edge of the command console. How long until they reach major population centers? The technician's fingers flew over the keyboard. Estimated time: 2 hours and 17 minutes. Kim watched the massive alien ships on the massive screen. They moved like a dark cloud, blocking out the sun. No warning, no communication, just pure, calculated invasion. Humanity had faced challenges before: world wars, economic collapses, planetary environmental changes. But this was different. This was an enemy that saw humans as nothing more than an obstacle to be removed. And in that moment, as the alien fleet approached, Captain Jae-hyun Kim made a decision. They might not have the most advanced technology. They might not have the strongest weapons, but they would fight. They would survive, no matter the cost. The invasion had begun. Lieutenant Yoo-jin Park stood in the middle of the National Military Museum, surrounded by dust-covered machines of war. Old tanks, forgotten fighter jets, retired naval weapons from conflicts long past. Most people would see junk. She saw hope. The alien invasion had changed everything in less than 24 hours. Major cities were under attack. Communication networks were down. And Earth's modern military had been crushed faster than anyone could imagine. "We need to think differently," Yoo-jin muttered to herself. Her team of engineers and military historians worked quickly. They knew time was running out. Each minute meant more human lives lost. Each hour brought the aliens closer to total planetary control. The first challenge was simple but critical. How could they use these old machines against an enemy with technology centuries beyond human understanding? An old World War II tank sat in the corner of the museum. Its metal was rusted. Paint was chipped. Most would see it as a piece of history. Yu Jin saw a weapon waiting to be reborn. "Bring me the electromagnetic pulse prototypes," she called to her team. Engineers worked fast. They connected modern targeting systems to the tank's ancient mechanical components. The goal wasn't to create a perfect weapon. The goal was to create something the aliens couldn't predict. Modern military technology relied on complex computer systems. These systems could be hacked, disabled, controlled. But the old mechanical systems, they were different. Simple, direct. In another part of the museum, a team worked on an old fighter jet from the 1980s. Its design was blocky. Its technology was outdated. But its mechanical systems were robust. With some quick modifications, they could turn it into something unexpected. "The aliens expect modern technology," explained Dr. Min Seo Choi, a military scientist watching the work. "What they won't expect is us using technology they consider primitive." Across the world, similar scenes played out. Museums became weapon factories. Old storage facilities became research centers. Humanity was learning to fight back, using the very weapons most people had forgotten. A restored naval cannon from the early 20th century got new targeting systems. An old missile platform received experimental quantum communication upgrades. Vintage trucks were transformed into mobile weapon platforms. Yu Jin looked at her team. Young engineers, military historians, technology experts. They understood something critical. Survival wasn't about having the most advanced technology. Survival was about adapting, being unpredictable. "We're going to show them what humans can do," she told her team. Outside the museum, the sounds of alien destruction continued. Cities burned. Defense systems collapsed. But inside this building, a different kind of fight was happening. A fight of human creativity, human determination. The aliens thought they knew humanity. They thought they understood human technology. They were wrong. Very wrong. As night fell, the first modified weapons began to move. Old machines given new life. Forgotten technology becoming humanity's last hope. The counterattack was about to begin. The first bombs dropped at dawn. They came from machines that looked like they belonged in a history museum, not a modern battlefield. World War II-era bombers, carefully restored and modified, rose from hidden underground hangars. Their mechanical systems hummed with new life. Experimental electromagnetic pulse generators were mounted where old gun turrets once sat. The pilots were a mix of veteran Air Force members and young volunteers who had trained on vintage simulators. Captain Jae-hyun Kim watched from a makeshift command center. The screen showed something impossible. The old bombers were moving through alien defensive systems like ghosts. Modern military technology relied on complex computer networks. Each system was connected. Each connection was a potential weakness. The aliens expected to hack and disable human defenses. But these old machines, they had no central network to attack. The first bomber squadron targeted the alien fleet's support ships. These massive vessels looked like floating cities, bristling with weapons that could destroy entire continents. They were supposed to be invincible. They were not. The electromagnetic pulse generators worked differently than modern weapons. Instead of trying to destroy the alien ships, they created waves of interference that scrambled their advanced systems. It was like throwing a bucket of water on a complex electronic machine. Support ships began to drift. Their advanced shields flickered. Communication systems went crazy. The aliens had no response prepared for such a simple attack. More modified weapons joined the fight. Old artillery pieces, fitted with new targeting systems, began firing. Each shot was calculated. Each movement was precise. The weapons didn't rely on complex guidance systems. They used simple mechanical aim and human skill. Lieutenant Yu Jin Park listened to the radio chatter. Pilots and ground teams reported strange success. The aliens couldn't predict their movements. Every time the invaders tried to counter one approach, humans would switch to something completely different. They're used to fighting advanced enemies, Dr. Min-Seo Choi said, watching the battle maps. We're giving them something they don't understand. The battle wasn't about having the biggest weapons. It was about being unpredictable, adaptable, human. More old machines joined the fight, restored tanks from different eras, naval guns from forgotten conflicts, aircraft that museums had kept as memories of past wars. Each became a weapon of surprise. The aliens had studied human technology. They knew our modern systems. They had plans to counter advanced missiles, advanced computers, advanced everything. They did not have a plan for humanity's junkyard. By midday, 3 alien support ships had been completely disabled. Their massive structures drifted in space, dark and silent. No explosions, no dramatic destruction, just total system failure. Humanity had scored its first real victory. And the aliens were about to learn that humans were far more dangerous than any technology could predict. Dr. Min-Seo Choi stood in front of a massive screen filled with complex data. Her eyes moved quickly, connecting dots that no one else could see. The alien technology was incredible, but it was also deeply flawed. Complexity is a weakness, she muttered to herself. The alien ships looked perfect, smooth surfaces that could change shape, weapons that could destroy entire cities in seconds, shields that could stop nuclear attacks like they were nothing more than raindrops. But perfection had a price. Each alien system was connected. Each part talked to every other part. Millions of connections, billions of data points. Everything was linked. Everything was complex. And complexity meant vulnerability. Min-Seo pulled up diagrams of the alien ships. Where humans would design a simple system with few parts, the aliens had created massive networks. One small problem could spread quickly. One tiny error could cause total system failure. The old human weapons were different. They were simple, direct. If a part broke, the rest of the machine could still work. An old tank from World War I might have 10 moving parts. An alien fighter ship had millions of connected systems. Which one was more likely to keep working when damaged? Captain Jae-hyun Kim listened as Min-Seo explained her findings. They've never fought an enemy who doesn't play by their rules, she said. Modern human technology had become complex too. Computers that needed constant updates, weapon systems that required perfect conditions, communication networks that could be easily broken. But the old machines, they were built to work. A fighter jet from the 1980s didn't need perfect conditions. It could fly with damage. It could be repaired with basic tools. An alien ship required perfect maintenance, perfect conditions. Min-Seo showed images of alien ships already experiencing problems. Their complex systems were breaking down. Communication networks were failing. Each small attack created bigger problems. They expect technology to solve everything, she explained. We expect humans to solve problems. The aliens had studied human technology. They knew our modern systems. They understood our advanced weapons. They did not understand human creativity. Outside, more modified weapons prepared for battle. Old machines given new purpose. Forgotten technology becoming humanity's hope. The real war was just beginning, and humanity was about to show the galaxy what survival really meant. The first alien ground forces landed like metal shadows. Their armor looked like living liquid, weapons that could destroy buildings with single shots, technology that made human military equipment look like toys. They were wrong. Sergeant Hyun Ki-lee waited in an old tank, not a modern battle tank, a restored machine from decades past. Its design was simple. Its systems were mechanical. No complex computer networks to hack. Around him, other old vehicles waited. Military trucks from different eras. Tanks with scratched paint. Weapons that museums had kept as memories. The aliens approached. Their movements were perfect, synchronized. Each alien soldier moved like part of a single machine. The first shots came from unexpected places. An old World War II artillery piece fired. Its aim was perfect. Modified targeting systems gave it incredible accuracy. The shell hit an alien transport vehicle, not with a massive explosion, but with a precise strike that disabled its systems. Hyun-Ki's tank moved differently than the aliens expected. No straight lines, no predictable patterns. It used terrain, used cover, moved like a human would move, not like a computer-controlled machine. Other modified vehicles joined the fight. A 1970s truck became a mobile weapon platform. An old naval gun found new purpose on a modified chassis. Each machine was different. Each had been changed to be unpredictable. The aliens had studied human military technology. They knew our modern systems. They understood our advanced weapons. They did not understand human creativity. When alien energy weapons tried to disable the old machines, something strange happened. Mechanical systems continued working. No central computer to shut down. No complex network to destroy. Hyun-Ki's tank took a hit. Modern vehicles would have been destroyed. But this old machine, it kept moving, kept fighting. They want perfect technology, Lieutenant Yoo-jin Park said, watching the battle maps. We want to survive. The ground battle became a nightmare for the aliens. Every time they adapted to one human tactic, something different happened. An old jeep would become a weapon. A restored aircraft would attack from an impossible angle. Humans fought like humans, not like machines. By nightfall, the aliens had lost more ground forces than they thought possible. Their perfect invasion was becoming a messy fight, and humanity was just getting started. The U.S. Midway rose from the ocean like a ghost from history. An old aircraft carrier that should have been a museum piece was now humanity's last hope. Captain Jae-hyun Kim stood on the bridge. Around him, a mix of veteran sailors and young volunteers worked together. They had modified the carrier with whatever technology they could find. Experimental quantum communication systems, makeshift weapon platforms, targeting computers pulled from different eras. The alien fleet covered the horizon. Massive ships that looked like moving cities. Each one could destroy entire countries with a single shot. The Midway looked small, old, almost funny compared to the alien technology. They won't expect this, Kim told his crew. The carrier moved differently than modern ships. Its mechanical systems were simple, no complex network to hack, no single point of failure, just basic engineering and human skill. Quantum communication systems allowed the Midway to share information in ways the aliens couldn't understand. One moment, the ship would appear in one location. The next, it would be somewhere completely different. The first alien ships tried to target the carrier. Their advanced weapons missed. The old ship moved like a living thing, not with perfect computer calculations, but with human intuition. Weapon systems from different eras found new purpose. An old anti-aircraft gun became a point defense weapon. Missile launchers from retired destroyers were mounted on the deck. Nothing was wasted. Everything was a potential weapon. Kim understood something critical. The aliens saw warfare as a perfect science. Humans saw it as survival. The Midway began its attack, not with massive explosions, but with precise strikes that disrupted alien communication networks. Each attack was designed to create confusion, to break their perfect systems. Alien ships started to malfunction. Their complex technology became a weakness. One small disruption spread through their entire fleet. By midnight, the Midway had become a nightmare for the alien commanders. A ship that shouldn't exist, a weapon they couldn't predict. Humanity's counterattack was working. Lieutenant Yoo-jin Park stood in a makeshift workshop. Around her, old machines were being transformed, not with advanced technology, but with simple, direct modifications. Simplicity is our weapon, she told her team. The aliens had one major weakness. They trusted technology too much. Every system was connected. Every connection was a potential failure point. Old radios from the 1960s became communication devices. Mechanical targeting systems replaced complex computer networks. Vacuum tube electronics proved impossible for alien hackers to disable. A restored Jeep from the Vietnam War got new life. Its mechanical systems couldn't be hacked. Its simple design meant it could be repaired with basic tools. No complex software, no advanced networks. Dr. Min Seo Choi explained the strategy. They expect complicated solutions. We give them simple ones. Alien technology worked like a perfect machine. Everything connected, everything controlled. But perfect machines break easily. Human technology became something different. Part old, part new. Always changing, always unexpected. An old tank could now communicate using simple radio signals that alien systems couldn't track. A vintage truck became a mobile command center. Mechanical systems that couldn't be electronically disabled. The aliens studied human technology. They understood our modern weapons. They did not understand human adaptability. Every time the aliens thought they had found a pattern, humans changed everything. An old airplane would attack from an impossible angle. A restored naval gun would strike with perfect precision. Yu Jin watched the battle maps. Humans were winning by being unpredictable. By using technology the aliens considered primitive. We are not fighting with our best technology, she told her team. We are fighting with our best creativity. The war became a nightmare for alien commanders. Their perfect systems kept failing. Their advanced technology became a weakness. Humanity was showing the galaxy something important. Technology was not about complexity. Technology was about survival. Dr. Min Seo Choi looked at the battle maps. The aliens expected perfect warfare. Humans were about to show them something different. Chaos is our weapon, she told Captain Kim. The plan was simple but crazy. Humans would attack the alien fleet with a mix of technologies that made no sense. Old weapons, new modifications, systems that shouldn't work together. An old submarine launched modified missiles. A restored bomber dropped experimental electromagnetic pulses. Vintage tanks fired with quantum-enhanced targeting systems. The aliens couldn't understand the attack pattern. Each strike came from a different direction. Each weapon worked differently. No central strategy. No predictable approach. Their perfect technology started to break down. One alien ship would try to counter an attack. Another would fail because its complex systems couldn't adapt quickly. Their massive technology became a weakness. Captain Jae-hyun Kim watched the battle unfold. Humans weren't trying to destroy the alien fleet. They were trying to create total confusion. An old radio station became a communication disruptor. A restored aircraft carrier moved in impossible ways. Mechanical systems that couldn't be hacked continued to fight. The aliens had studied human technology. They knew our modern weapons. They did not understand human survival instinct. By the battle's end, the alien fleet was in chaos. Not destroyed, but completely disabled. Their perfect technology had become their biggest weakness. Humanity had shown the galaxy something important. Survival isn't about having the best technology. Survival is about being able to adapt. The silence after the battle was strange. Alien ships drifted like broken machines. No explosions, no dramatic destruction, just total system failure. Captain Jae-hyun Kim stood on the deck of the restored U.S. Midway. Lieutenant Yu Jin Park and Dr. Min Seo Choi joined him. They had done something impossible. They had saved humanity. The alien invasion was over. Not through superior technology, but through human creativity, adaptability, the ability to use what others considered trash. Old tanks had become weapons, restored aircraft had become fighters, museum pieces had become humanity's salvation. The galaxy would learn an important lesson. Technology isn't about complexity, it's about survival. Alien communication systems tried to understand what happened. How could simple machines defeat their perfect technology? How could humans win with weapons from past centuries? The answer was simple. Humans adapt. Humans survive. One old tank, one restored bomber, one modified ship could change everything. Not through perfect technology, but through human spirit. The battle wasn't just about weapons. It was about understanding. The aliens saw technology as a perfect system. Humans saw technology as a tool for survival. In the days that followed, other alien races would study the battle. They would try to understand how humanity won. They would never fully understand. Because survival isn't about having the best technology. Survival is about being human.